Hey, everybody, welcome inside the sit down. Ryan Mayer now joined by Steve Cunningham. He's set to
Hey,
fight Frank Mir on Saturday, April 17th, as part of Triller Fight Club's Jake Paul versus Ben Askren card. Steve, how you doing, man? How's everything going?
doing good, man. Doing decent. Working. We got the call on short notice. We had about 4 weeks left
Yep.
into up to fight date. But sorry for me. I'm always working out. I'm always kind of in some decent type of shape. So it's just step up the sparring, a little cardio, and here we are, 2 weeks
Yeah.
out.
There you go. There you go. So you talk about being a late addition to the card. Does that, I know you're obviously always in shape, but how does that change things a little bit for you as you kind of prepare for a new opponent there on short notice?
Drastically, you have a drastic change, real quick, like boom, hey, you're fighting this guy, Frank Mir is big. There's certain ways to fight a big guy, the plus and the negative is the plus for him is he's an MMA guy and they fight different than boxers, in boxing. I've sparred MMA guys before and it's a little tricky, because they throw different combinations. It's just a different flow until I get that rhythm. But that's the plus for him. But then the negative for him is, he's a novice at boxing, I'll keep it real, But like I said in the press conference, he's a two-time champion, UFC champion. He's a warrior. He's there's a line right there, warrior and then champion. He's both of those, so he knows how to get in there and push and try to make something happen. And he's been training. So he's been training, I think, since February as a boxer. So, I'm expecting to see some good stuff and work off it and create my own stuff,
Yeah, you mentioned some of the challenges that those MMA guys pose, right? In the fact that they do have just a little bit different of a striking style coming from that background. So just as you look at it, obviously we haven't necessarily seen his full fight style in the boxing ring versus MMA, but as you looked at him as an opponent, what kind of stood out to you as some of the challenges that he poses?
Like I said, his drive, his determination as a champion, that is dangerous in itself. He knows how to push. He knows how to try to figure out how to get out of a uncomfortable situation. And that plays in this whole thing as danger for me because I'm going to put him in some dangerous spots. I'm going to put him in some uncomfortable spots, and he'll figure it out, and we'll just adapt on each other and work. His size, of course. And but like I said, we fought guys bigger, like not I said, like everyone knows I fought bigger guys, prevailed, done good things in some of the fights, and there's a formula to that. So that's the same formula I want to use and probably add a little more stuff and just Joe, my goal is to win, period.
Absolutely. And this is the first fight back for you in a little while. Just what made now the right time to go back and get into the ring against a guy like this?
Well, I've been attempting to get back in the ring since 2018. My last fight was 2017, was August, and we took time out. We took a long time. We decided to just take time and open our gym, USS Fight Academy out here in Pittsburgh, and it was about 8 months. We just wanted to take almost like a year off. And then by then I was contacting my agent, Al Heyman, and was like, listen, I want to do a couple more fights before I retire. And he's like, all right, cool. And we had a few fights that were scheduled, but then they fell through in 2018, 2019. Then 2020 hit, excuse me. And not coughing because I got COVID, 2020.
Oh, I got you.
2020 hit, and that shut everything down. So this fight, I get the call, and I've been in the gym. I train fighters, I spar with the fighters, I spar with other fighters. I'm just, man, I still had that fire in me. I still want to get a couple more fights. I want to go out on my terms, and we get this call, and it's like, hey, when opportunity knocks. I was raised as a boxer, in a way of saying, stay ready so you never have to get ready. A call can just come at any time. When I was a professional, right before I won my world title, I was in camp. I would go to training camp just because, and just to stay in shape, to be right and ready. And one time we were in camp and we got a call to fight the then WBC cruiserweight world champion, who was Wayne Braithwaite. And they were saying within like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And they called, when they called us and asked, we told them right then, yeah, and that's crazy. They were like, whoa, we're like, we're in camp right now. And they turned us down, it's like, nah, because they wanted that guy to somebody that's out of shape. They wanted to catch somebody slipping. And that's been the mindset. Don't ever, sorry about that.
No,
that's been the mindset. Don't ever get caught slipping. Stay ready, stay in the gym, we don't have to be here at championship level, but we can stay here. We can float here or run so many days of the week, do weights, box a couple days a week. But then training camp comes, that's every day. So
absolutely. And I know you're a Philly guy. You came up out of Philadelphia. So I want to take me back a little bit there, and just there's such a rich history of boxing in Philadelphia. What was originally what made you fall in love with this sport and pursue it as a career?
Philadelphia itself, back when I grew up, it was right before the crack epidemic. It was in the 80s, mid to late 80s. We would boxing and fighting was like our pastime, like games. We call body to body. You put your foot to the other guy's foot and you just throw body shots, slap boxing. We would put one glove on, about 6 of us, and go to the next block, and we'd all just have a Royal Rumble. Everybody in Philly kind of knew a bit about boxing because boxing gyms were everywhere. Every rec center, people had their own gym. So boxing was a part of Philadelphia's like blood. I moved around a lot, got bullied a bit after my mother and father separated, and I just, I was getting beat up, so I decided to fight back. And about age, I think 11, age 12, that's when I started beating the bullies back, beating them up. And I'm like, yo, I can fight, and no, I would, anybody brought a fight to me, I would engage because I just wanted to be a boxer even then. But at that time, I couldn't get to the gym that was close to my home, and I joined the Navy. When I joined the Navy, my recruiter was like, what's your hobbies? And I wrote them down like, hey, drawing, art, and boxing. And he was like, oh, the Navy has a boxing team. And I was like, what? Because I joined the Navy because I was trying to get college money for art. Art was my major. So after lunch, I had art every period up until after lunch from 10th grade on to 12th. So I was trying to get into the Art Institute of Philadelphia or New York, but my mother, who was a single parent, never went to college, didn't know anything about college. Our household didn't know anything about college. She wasn't able to fill me in on student loans, fill this out. Hey, get your portfolio ready in January, February, and send it out. So now it's May, it's April, and I'm getting all my friends in art class are getting acceptance letters. And I'm like, where's mine at? And my art teacher was like, I told you to do your portfolio. You never sent this out. You never sent that. And I was just like, yo, I'm stuck. So I didn't want to stay. It kind of hit me, it was like an epiphany. I didn't want to stay in Philadelphia as a young adult, 18, 19, 20, because, I was into some trouble. I was into some like street stuff that, few years before that made me say, whoa, I want to graduate now. I want to get out of this. And I thought college was my way out, but I didn't do what I needed to do it to get there. And the Navy recruiter came to my advisory class, and he said the exact things that I needed, college money, GI Bill, and travel the world, getting up out of there. And I was like, I am gone, So that's when I joined the Navy, man. But the goal was to get on the Navy boxing team, or just to see what it was about, because I didn't even understand it, But then I get to my station. I graduate boot camp, which was crazy but fun. That was the funnest part of the Navy for me, boot camp, because, it's like the newest, the fresh. It was like going to your first dorm, going to your first, college, meeting all these guys, but we're just exercising, training, learning. We were in class a lot. So graduated boot camp, got stationed in Norfolk Naval Base on the USS America. And the Navy boxing team, ironically, trained at the base about 20 minutes or probably 15 minutes away down the road. And I would go there and work out, like every chance I got. And when I was in port, and I matched up with this trainer, this Marine guy, hard-nosed Marine officer, Major Hanson at the time. And he trained me, he sparred with me, even though it was against the rules for an officer and enlisted to work. But he sparred with me. He's like, man, you got something, man. And one day I remember he's like, Cunningham, I can't spar with you anymore. And I'm like, why? He's like, you're getting too good. He's like, you're getting too good. And I'm like, all right, so from there, he got me my first amateur fight against the light heavyweight champ of the whole Navy, because the Navy had a boxing team and I was light heavyweight. He comes to me one day and he's like, Cunningham. I come in the gym. He's like, Cunningham, I got your fight. And I'm like, yes, finally. Because I've been training for about a year and a half, And he's like, I got you a fight. And I'm like, all right, cool. And he's like, it's against Israel Spencer. That's the guy's name.
Yep.
Light heavyweight champ. We all knew him. And I was just like, all right. It just wasn't, hey, okay. I just wanted to fight. I've been training for so long. I wanted to use what I knew. And this guy had about 50 amateur fights. Been to the nationals and was ranked here and there, and I got in there, I got the fight and I beat him. I beat him. I outworked him. I outdid him. And I guess he underestimated me a bit and I got the win. So from there, I joined the Navy boxing team and went on to win second place in the Armed Forces tournament in 1998. Then I won the National Golden Gloves in 1998. I was a national champion. And from there, my time, because I joined the Navy in 94. So I had my 4-year, period. So it was either re-enlist and do a few more years in the Navy or represent the Navy or get out and chase this dream. And I decided, to chase the dream and we caught it. We caught it 2 times.
Absolutely. No question. The rest, as they say, is history. And you mentioned your USS Fight Academy out there in Pittsburgh. And I just wonder, what went into, I love it. I love the shirt. It's got the Pittsburgh color schemes too. Yeah. I see what you're doing. Right. Just what made you decide to want to open the gym and start to pass down that knowledge that you've gained throughout the course of your career?
Well, really, it's like it was at first, before it was a no-brainer. It was, I met my wife in a boxing gym, in Atlanta, that's where I went. After I got out of the Navy, I moved to Atlanta to chase the dream. And, a couple years later, I met my future wife, in a boxing gym that we were training at. And, she was there for just staying in shape, weight loss type stuff. And, it was just a great connection. And just that gym just made it's just such a nostalgic feeling coming back in that gym every day. Cause, that's where we met and kind of solidified our love connection. But it's always been our goal to own our own gym, man, we want to get our own gym. So as now years later, I've got all of this experience. I've commentated on NBC. I've commentated on this and that, and for this guy, for Fox, FS1, and I've got all this knowledge and experience from my career. And I'm like, man, and I also train my sons. I was training my sons before we even had a building. The USS Fight Academy wasn't a building. It was me, my son, Steve Jr. Cruz, and my nephew, Bernard Finney, and my cousin, Quintez. It was just us guys, we were training together, turned my garage into a little gym here. And then my wife was like, hey, listen, let's get a gym, and she found the building and it was like, hey, this is it. And we just started building from there. So now it's been 3 years later. I have at least about 14 amateurs that we train there. We got 3 different actually, we got about 4 different trainers there now. Guys that used to fight. That's the only guys I take as trainers, man. Guys that have been in there before. Guys that used to fight. We have the best kids class in the area. It's like gym class. It's like boxing gym class, So that's basically like our bread and butter right now. We get tons of kids that come in, they're bullied, and the parents are like, listen, I just want them to know him or her to know how to protect themselves or have confidence. And man, the success stories that we've seen come out of there, these kids crying because they feel good. They won't be bullied anymore. I've had a few kids. I had one kid, he sparred for the first time. And this kid, when they brought him to us, he was bullied. His mom was like, man, he's getting bullied crazy. And he walked in like defeated. So about 8 months later, he walks in the gym. He's got his hat on to the back, got a little swag with him. And one of my coaches is like, hey, look at him. And I'm like, oh, snap. So I asked him, I said, hey, man, because school had just started. This was 2020. I said, hey man, you getting bullied? They bullying you still? And he was like, no, and they better not. And I was like, my man. So that day he sparred, for the first time. And his mom was there right by ringside. We let his mom stand ringside. And, he got hit. He hit back, but he didn't give up. And after the sparring was over, him and his mom hugged in the corner and just started crying, because it was such a huge confidence builder for him. It was such a big step for them. And man, we just almost started crying too, because we understood what they were going through. So what we're doing is more than just teaching kids how to punch, teaching people how to, it's building life skills, for the future, for their life. Like that kid now has confidence. Yep. He's going to attack the world now differently. He's going to look at things differently. That's what boxing did for me. So we're doing it for other people.
It's amazing what that kind of confidence can do for kids going forward, especially after so many years of going through those types of situations. They're getting bullied in school. Yeah. So that's a really awesome thing that you guys are doing with the gym. Just to wrap things up here, you're going into this fight on the 17th. I know your expectation is to go in there and win against Frank Mir and go from there. But just what does it mean to you to get back in the ring now after so much time away?
Man, it means a lot. It means everything, because it's like I didn't want to go out on that last fight as a loss that we thought we won, and just a sour taste. And it's also, this is they're toting this as MMA versus boxing. So I'm like, hey, I'll carry that flag and represent my sport, represent what I love. For I've been boxing 20 years. Represent it, with all my heart, and have fun at doing it. And much respect to Frank Mir. Like I said, he's a 2-time champion. He's a warrior. He's a champion himself. But somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, and it's a good step for him too, because there aren't a lot of fighters that are stepping into an unknown arena in MMA. There have been some, but for him to step into our arena, into our world, and try to do something. Hey, man, I get that. My hat goes off to him. Give him a round of applause. Also, this stepping into the ring really helps me. It is really a big booster for me, because right now there's so much we're doing. The gym. My sons were rated national champions. I have my 10-year-old is a 2-time national champion. My 18-year-old just fought in the national tournament last week. He'll be number 5 in the country. And I have a comic book that I've created out of my boxing career. I've turned myself into a superhero, and some of the guys that I fought into supervillains. Actually, we'll go right here. Official comic book, USS versus Hardcore. For those of you who know, I fought Amir Mansour. It was a dope fight. I decided to turn it into a comic book, and man, USS Comics. I formed a company called USS Comics. So that ties in my art major. From high school. And I've been still been drawing, and I just turned it. I just like, you know what? Instead of just doodling, I just want to do something. I want to make a comic book. And I did that, So USS Comics on all social media platforms, links in the bio. Check out some of my artwork. I'm getting better and better. But so this is why I'm glad we have this platform to fight, to showcase my skills, and just to push out all the other things that we're doing, to build the gym, to bring more kids to the gym too, to help. But outside of that, man, get in there and break it out, man, bust some sweat.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, I really appreciate the time. Good luck coming up here on the 17th, man, and enjoy this. Obviously, you're excited to get back in the ring.
I am very excited. Very.